we're going to actually show the collection. So we're going to give you a little overview. First, we're going to give you a brief overview of what HeinOnline is. We are going to show you how to research with BLAZE, is what we call it, because it stands for Business and Legal Aspects of Sports and Entertainment. And we are going to have time at the end for questions. So let's go. Continue from here. We have various HeinOnline folks here, Tim Hooge and myself. We have a colleague named Roxanne who is not here in this group, but her picture is there, and she might be doing a similar demo in the future. And just letting people in here, letting everyone get settled. And we're going to talk about the business and legal aspects of sports and entertainment. What this brings to HeinOnline, and by the way, HeinOnline, as you may know, does have a significant amount of sports and entertainment material anyway, but what this does is adds that much more, and also some resources we don't have in any other source. And because the editors are so knowledgeable in the area, they put extensive editorial scope notes and annotations in the material. So what is the business and legal aspects of sports and entertainment include? It includes topic-coded articles and cases, as well as editorialized scope notes and annotations. And I will show you some of that. And then, of course, like other parts of HeinOnline, you have that link to extensive full-text government documents, and it's all in one place. So you can seamlessly go from cases to annotations to government documents on HeinOnline, especially in the sports and entertainment area with this new collection, Business and Legal Aspects of Sports and Entertainment. I should tell you that any of you, or most of you, should be subscribers already to HeinOnline. Any of you can get a free trial to Business and Legal Aspects of Sports and Entertainment. Just send us an email and let us know that you want a free trial. And if you would like to consider this collection, it's pretty reasonably priced, so I think you'll find that the content is quite worth it, and you can get a free trial of it. And I should also tell you that we are offering until June 30th a 15% discount on this BLAZE collection, BLAZE being what Business and Legal Aspects of Sports and Entertainment stands for. So this collection has related books and periodicals in the areas of entertainment and sports. And we have things organized in legal subjects for you there. And if any of you are familiar with the program National Sports Law Institute at Marquette University Law School, we have extensive materials added to BLAZE from the Marquette materials. So we'll be talking a little bit about that as well. So that's an exciting additional resource. Now, this BLAZE collection is an award-winning resource. Like other collections, it's won awards. This collection won the 2020 Joseph Andrews Legal Literature Award. So right off the bat, people were very favorably impressed. The editors, I happen to know them personally. Two law librarians, former law library directors, Frank Hodek, who you may know is at Southern Illinois University, was the library director there, and various other places, including USC Law Center. Ed Edmonds was a law library director at many different law schools, most recently at Notre Dame. So, and both of them have the sports and entertainment law expertise. As I mentioned, we have that 15% discount and the option of getting a free trial right before you use HeinOnline, and you can make your decision by June 30th, 2022. No pressure, no obligation to do this, just bringing it to your attention. And now with all of that said, let me get into HeinOnline for you. And here we are directly in the collection, Business and Legal Aspects of Sports and Entertainment. Can everyone see that we are now on HeinOnline? Have I correctly shared that with you? Let me know if you don't see this part of HeinOnline right in front of you. And just to let you know, here's how the more familiar view of HeinOnline that you're familiar with. As you can see, we have the welcome page in HeinOnline. So you would go, if you were researching in business and legal aspects of sports and entertainment, you would go right to that in HeinOnline. Like all of the collections in HeinOnline, you can click on the eye and it will tell you what's in here. So it mentions specifically, I mentioned the Marquette materials from the National Sports Institute of Marquette, and of course, 9,200 scholarly articles and topical arrangements of subjects on the area of sports and entertainment. I'm going to open this up. Oh, I should tell you, over 1,600 titles specific to sports and entertainment, and over 1.5 million pages. So a lot of material here. And we keep updating it regularly, like so many, the vast majority of the HeinOnline collections. So let's look at what we have here. We can browse this by all titles, all the titles in Blaze, or business and legal aspects of sports and entertainment. We can browse it by all the books, just the books, the full text, fully searchable books. And if we wanted to go into the books, we just go here and we could scroll down. Of course, like other parts of HeinOnline, other collections, we have congressional documents. And so that means you can go right to different subcommittees and other materials straight out of the congressional record, but in this case, specific to the sports and entertainment area. We, of course, have other government documents, and you can scroll down here. You can use our A to Z list to go fine tune where you're looking for. Like other collections in HeinOnline you're familiar with, we have legislative histories. In this case, it's legislative histories specific to the sports and entertainment area. Like we said, the National Sports Law Institute out of Marquette, great materials to look at, periodicals for you to search in the area of sports and entertainment, many specific journals that you can peruse in the area, full text, fully searchable. And then we have a bibliography. Like so many other topical collections in HeinOnline, we want you to be able to use a bibliography to find what you're looking for in the area. So definitely, if you're doing research in sports and entertainment or a specific aspect, check out our bibliography. Now, that said, you may be looking for scholarly sports articles. And there's also scholarly entertainment articles. And editors have selected them, our editors being Frank Hodak and Ed Edmonds. Let's go into scholarly sports articles. You can see we have them neatly organized for you by topic. And let's say we were looking at something like international athletics. We could click on that. Or we could click on any one of the other collections or the other topics here, say horse racing, etc. And within that, we can go to some specific articles. Now, notice here's where you could download a PDF of that article. You have other download options. You can notice this article has been cited by 30 other articles. You can go to the full text of those 30 other articles in HeinOnline, go right to them. And here we have 19 articles. You go right to them. Notice this is a pretty important article here. It's been accessed 90 times in a rolling period on HeinOnline. This is from Tulane Law Review. So let's find something that we find interesting from here just to show you. Here's something on doping control, mandatory arbitration, and process dangers for accused athletes in international sports. And let's just open that up. Now, this looks like a typical HeinOnline article. Of course, it's dealing in this case specifically with sports and entertainment. And I'm just going to remind you of some of the functionality here. Here would be where you would download. Here'd be where you would print. Here's where you could email this to even a non-subscriber who happens to be, your sibling is interested in a sports topic. You could send them a temporary link to this doping control article if you wanted to. And like the other situations when you're emailing an article, you can pick and choose what format you want. You can choose MLA, APA, Blue Book. You have your choice. If you're dealing with someone in Australia, you could send this in ALWD. If you're dealing with Canada, you could send this in McGill format. So there's lots of fluctuality. Forgot what word I'm trying to say. Anyway, you know what I mean. Anyway, here we see blue hypertext links. Now, like other parts of HeinOnline, everything is linked together. So if you see a blue hypertext link within one of the documents you're looking at, you can click on it and it'll take you seamlessly to the full text of what you're looking for. So just be aware that you can click on that whenever you're in there. Also be aware you can simply, when you're looking to get a permalink to a given page, you just click here and it will take you to a permalink. This will always go to that article. And if you want to do a search within a search, for example, you were searching a specific type of doping, you could throw that in here and do a search within a search. You could also change the pagination, etc. Now, let's say that this topic is really on point, this topic specifically to international athletes and doping. We might want to do a more like this search. And what more like this does is it presents an algorithm which finds the most interesting words in a given article or document or case. So here we notice it picked up on the word doping and sport and athletes and anti-doping as well. And we might like all of these terms. We could also boost them, like anti-doping might be very important as well. And let's boost the term sports. And why don't we put in the name Russia if we wanted to zero in there, because they've been in the news with doping issues before in the Olympics, etc. And we might want to say, let's start with 1976 and go all the way back up to 2022. And now we're searching for doping in sports. Specifically, we threw in the word Russia, and we're looking for for related articles. And we have a whole bunch of things. Here's a great article, Passing the Baton, International Olympic Committee's anti-doping laws in dealing with the 2016 Russian Olympic team, etc. And we can go on from there. And so, also full text article, we can go right to it, etc. Now, there's something called HeinOnline. This is a great bookmarking tool that all of our subscribers should use. Of course, there's no obligation to use it, but all you do is you set up your own HeinOnline profile, each individual user, and then you can save your queries, set up table of contents alerts, etc., etc. So this is a really great thing to be aware of. So let's go back now to our business and legal aspects of sports and entertainment so I can show you some more aspects of that. So here are some important sports cases. So the editors have picked up what they think are very important sports cases, also some important entertainment cases. Well, let's go into important sports cases for you. And you can see they really have organized it by subject. So if you were looking for example, something regarding disability issues in sport, you can go right here to this list of disability issues cases that they have recommended. And we could go right to Knapp versus Northwestern. We can go to the PGA Tour versus Martin, Sanderson versus Michigan High School Athletic Association. And notice here, it tells you related topics. And you could click on here and go to that related topic if you're interested. Or you can go right here to a description of this case by just clicking this. So if I were looking for a description of Washington and Indiana High School athletics, let's look at that. It's a case where the associations refused to grant waiver from a rule impacting eligibility of a learning disabled students, said that it violates Americans with Disabilities Act. Okay, and let's say we want to actually see that case. You just click right here on the citation, and boom, this is going to come in, unless it's a Supreme Court case, which would come in straight from the Supreme Court library and HeinOnline. We also have fast case integrated here. So this case, which is not a Supreme Court, but it is a federal Seventh Circuit case. This goes right into the full text of that case. Like other documents on HeinOnline, you're going to see blue hypertext links. So other cases that are cited within this case, articles that are cited within this case. If there's a statute cited in this case, if there's another type of government document, you'll be able to click on that blue hypertext link whenever you are interested in looking at that. Let's look at other aspects of business and legal aspects of sports and entertainment. We have here's legislative histories, and it works just like the U.S. Federal Legislative History Library in general and the other collections we have, such as Taxation and Economic Reform in America that has legislative histories. This just happens to pertain to legislative histories of business for sports and entertainment. And you can also look for, here's where you would go for important entertainment cases. I'll just quickly show you that. So if you're looking for cases, for example, on blacklist in the entertainment industry, these are some key, notice the era that we're looking at. We're dealing with here is from in the early 50s, 1954, 1957. These are key blacklist sites for you. Now, if you want a description of, say, Lawson versus United States, we can click on it, and you see this is on the Un-American Activities, the HUAC, and also the Joe McCarthy stuff that was going on at the time. And if we go to here, Scott versus RKO Radio Pictures, we can see here that here's the Committee on Un-American Activities, HUAC, constituted a breach of the morals clause in his contract. And so we can actually look at this case if we want by clicking here. And as we saw before, we have related topics if you ever want to go on related topics. And Ed and Frank have put scope notes, so they tell you exactly what is the scope of a given topic. They've set up the categories and they tell you what the scope is. It's very important that you understand how they set it up, and they easily make it easy to use. Now, they've also put external sports links here. They've also put in things like external entertainment links. So we want you to get the most value from your research, not just what's in HeinOnline in particular, but we're giving you at the ready important entertainment and sports links. And then there's even something called the Athlete Agents Act. Now, some of you may have something called NACUSL, which is the national, it's the Uniform State Laws group that puts together uniform state laws that are eventually passed by given states. And there is a drafted Athlete Agents Act. So if you wanted to see the Athletes Agents Act in the NACUSL materials, you just click here and it would take you to that. And then we have other reference sources. So these are the different levels and versions of the different regarding those materials, the drafts, which were for discussion only, the AFCA survey regarding agent oversight, which is relevant to the drafting of the uniform laws, and et cetera. So, and then there's memoranda involving the Athlete Agents Act. So if you're going in depth in that research regarding that, it's got it all here for you. Another thing to be aware of, you can of course search. You can search right in the business and legal aspects of sports and entertainment. In this case, I'm going to do a search for film and censorship. And why don't we put in social justice here? See what we find. And here we have 58 results, all kinds of different results. How free is it? Artistic expression and new proper structures in New Europe. Not only do we have US materials, but we have global materials. Columbia Broadcasting System, Papa Jack, and US federal interventions. We could look through something that looks interesting to us. Let's see, entertainment law cases, materials on film, television, and music. And we could go right to it and open it up and look at it whenever we want, and we could save it in my Hein. Now, we might want to do an advanced search in Blaze, and we could do that here. Notice you can search by text, title, creator, author, description. You could specify the kind of documents. You could specify the years. You could specify if you want to sort your results in terms of newest first, oldest first, relevance, etc. Now, you might want to use proximity searching. So you would search within 25, within 10, within 5, etc. Now, there's in the last year or two, we developed, after beta testing it, something called a Venn diagram search, which is a very important learning tool for visual learners. And that doesn't matter if you're in a law firm, if you're in a corporation, if you're in an academic, like a law school institution, it doesn't matter. People love visual learning tools. And if we go here to the Venn diagram search, let's do a search on, I'm going to do a search for sports and consent and hockey. Oh, sports and violence and consent. Let's first put that. Now, in professional hockey, do they consent to violence by playing professional hockey? It's certainly a violent sport. And so let's see what the articles and cases say. So if we're going to put in sports and violence in hockey here, We're going to do a Venn diagram search. Okay, and notice this is great. This kind of gives you the lay of the land. So look at all the results we have for the term violence. Notice it's interactive, so it tells us that there are 5,713 results for the term violence. We also have 4,102 results for the term hockey and 15,372 results for the term sports. But we want, because we're looking for, these are key terms and something we're looking for, we actually want to see the overlap between these three concepts. And that overlap is this area. So this is actually a search for sports and violence and hockey. If you're doing a search for sports or violence and hockey, it would be this circle plus this circle plus this circle. But only here is the overlap. So these are the most relevant results. And notice you see there's 1,096 results in this overlap area. And here's an article from hockey gloves to handcuffs, the need for criminal sanctions in professional ice hockey, right on point to what we were looking for. Because remember, we were looking at the whole issue of whether you consent in a violent sport like hockey, and when you're playing it professionally. Here's an article, Parental Rage and Violence in Youth Sports. How can we prevent soccer moms and hockey dads from interfering in youth sports and causing games to end in fistfights rather than handshakes? This is specifically dealing with violence watching school sports. And here's hockey violence, economics, the law, and the Twist and McSorley decisions. There's a key decision called the McSorley decision. This article came out in Seton Hall Journal of Sports Law. And notice we still have the scholar check aspect on the right. This tells you how important the documents you're finding are. For example, this was cited by 4 other articles. You could go to those 4 other articles. This was accessed 20 times. Sometimes you even have cases mentioned in the articles. Like, for example, here, this article, aggressive play or criminal assault, was actually cited by a judge in a few cases. So if we wanted to see the cases that cite this article, aggressive play or criminal assault, an in-depth look of the sports violence and criminal liability, you can do so. And you could even put in 4 terms in the Venn diagram search. I did the same search, but with assault one time, got great results, even more specific to what I was looking at. So just be aware of that. Now, you have some great tools here, and we are going to want to leave a little time for some questions. So think of what questions you might have, but be aware that whenever you want to see what's new in HeinOnline, and that includes in the business and legal aspects of sports and entertainment collection, you can go right to what's new, and it can tell you what's new content, and it can give you a monthly content release. And if you want help, we, of course, have this live chat feature from 8:30 to 6, Monday through Friday. Do not hesitate to use it. We love to help people while they're researching on HeinOnline. We, of course, have LibGuides, and these are helpful for librarians to instantly know how to use a given collection. And yes, we have a LibGuide specifically in here. Just click here and go straight to Blaze, Business and Legal Aspects of Sports and Entertainment. We have a LibGuide on that collection, which you're welcome to use at no charge, of course, and you can just download it, or we can give you the link to it. Of course, we have knowledge base, so whenever you have questions about HeinOnline, you can ask the questions in our knowledge base. And we have HeinOnline blog, which has included articles on sports and entertainment, including how to find material in Blaze, but we have this in many different subjects. So you can hear some research topics, and we often have articles on things like sports and entertainment. In fact, we had an article on James Bond movies a few months ago, and you can go into this list and see how it's all organized. And here we've even had pop culture articles. So here's something on Britney Spears. Here's the copyright history of James Bond, etc. And you can go right to the blog article. And so it's quite valuable, and it's, of course, free to get the blog article. So just be aware of that. And with all of that said, we would like to take some questions. So by all means, if anyone has any questions, please give me the question. I'm going to, by the way, I'm going to write my email right here in the chat, sroses@wshein.com. Because you may have questions you think of after. And then I'm going to put Tim Hooge, T. Hooge at wsheim.com as well. So those are our two emails, and you can ask us questions. Does anyone have any questions? Well, if you can't think of any questions now, like I said, just email us at that number. We're constantly adding more sports and entertainment material to Blaze. Blaze is business and legal aspects of sports and entertainment. It's a one-time fee, so it's not a subscription. It's a one-time fee, and you get a 15% discount on it. What were you saying, Tim?
Looks like we do have two questions. One, the most recent, was wondering how far back our archive of treatises go. And the other question is, what do we have in terms of content covering name, image, and likeness issues within sports?
There is name, image, and likeness issues. There are articles and cases in there. You could either do a search specifically in Blaze, or you could do it right from the Law Journal library as a starting point. And you could actually put in that term, and you can find what you're looking for. And as for how far back the archive of treatises go, we have treatises that go back as far as 17 and 1800s already in HeinOnline, and we have access to it through Blaze. So if any of those treatises dealt with sports or entertainment, you're going to have results that go way back. But obviously, you're going to have far more results from the 21st and 20th century. But still, in its totality, through our collection, Legal Classics, we go way back. So just be aware of that. And those are full text books, by the way, fully searchable. Yes, Blaze is continuously updated, even though it's a one-time fee, and you pay for it and you have it for the rest of the time of your HeinOnline subscription. You pay that one time. Even so, we're constantly updating. Our editors are constantly editing, and we're adding more and more articles and cases. Yes. So you can stay abreast of not only historical sports and entertainment issues, but current sports and entertainment issues. Does anyone have any other questions? Because we still have 2 more minutes. Yes, it's a one-time fee. And so meaning you pay once and you always have access to it on your HeinOnline subscription. And that one-time fee gets a 15% discount as long as you order by the end of June of 2022. Are there any additional questions? Well, thank you very much for attending. This was great. We will be sending you the recording, and also with the recording, we can send you not only information on the Blaze collection, but also the pricing information, so that you have that material. Also, while you're on trial, whether you can decide to get a trial, all you have to do is click on the I next to the collection, and it can give you a full list of the KBARD files. So you can get a list of all the titles that are in HeinOnline, specifically in the Blaze collection. So just be aware of that. So that's so yes, you can get title lists. And thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. We appreciate your time, and enjoy the rest of the day.